Brian Grimes, your real estate mentor, back with another action-packed session. Today, we're going to be talking about the wealth formula that can retire you from the 9 to 5 in as little as 2 to 5 years if you just follow these basic action steps. If you're new to the channel, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribed. I'll send you instant access to my free real estate training, show you how to acquire properties for pennies on a dollar all across the country. And if you want to tap into any of our other programs, click the link in the description or DM me cash flow if you're on IG. So, guys, I want to get straight into this because I was just looking at a statistic and it showed that 65% of Americans right now are living paycheck to paycheck, which is a bit higher than I thought. I thought it would be maybe like half or maybe 40%, but 65%. That means if you're in a room with two friends, that out of the three of you, only one of you isn't paycheck to paycheck, which is kind of crazy. But the reason why this is the case is because you've been taught the wrong things in school. They never teach you these wealth formulas. They don't teach you how to build wealth. They teach you the wrong way to go about this. I'm here to teach you guys the right way today. So if you never heard it before, you're going to leave this live session with a wealth formula. I know it works because I used it. Many of my friends have used it. Many of people across the country, so it's not just about me either, are using it now and are experiencing similar results. So this stuff will definitely work. If you want to learn the high level detail, click the links in the description, like I said, or DM me cash flow. I'll send you access to our community group as well. It's $27 to join, but it will give you all of the high level information that you need to accelerate. So what is this wealth formula that they teach you? They don't teach you in school. Let's talk about the wrong way and what they do teach you in school. And if you guys have questions, drop them in the chat, drop them in the comment section, and we'll kind of answer them as we go. So here's what they teach you in school. It, to me, is the complete wrong way. It's all about just passing tests, studying, regurgitation of information, most of it useless, not valuable today. Many of our teachers are not, they're not out making money or necessarily like implementing any of these strategies anyway, or some of the things that they're teaching us, but just basic, math, arithmetic, stuff like that, to then graduate, go to college and get in student loan debt. Many of our degrees are absolutely worthless. Some of our degrees, we may come out of college with $150,000 of debt, and the job will only pay 40K. 20. I've seen people come out with 100K of debt and get a 25K salary. I was lucky enough with sports where I didn't come out in that much debt, but you could see people who are coming out, they got a 25K salary, 30K salary, 40K salary with $150,000 worth of debt. How does that add up? That's the wrong way. Student loans, if you come out with that much debt, you basically have a mortgage on your back from day one. So now you've been taught the wrong way. You're starting off behind the 8 ball. You're trapped in debt now. And you have $1,000 a month payment to come up with off of a 25K annual salary after taxes. I mean, you're now automatically paycheck to paycheck. So you're being programmed right from day one to be paycheck to paycheck. If I'm lying, somebody tell me. But Frank Harris said straight facts. He said I'm spitting straight facts right now. This is literally step by step how it goes. So another part of the training, which we will get from our family, friends, but we're also getting just from this algorithm of what they teach us in school, is to become a worker, not an owner. They're preparing you when they're giving you a homework assignment. Hey, here's your homework. Read this and turn this in on this date. That's what a worker does. They get an assignment from their boss. They stress over it. They do their best. They turn it in so that they can go back out to recess and play. Like, it's like, let me get this out of the way so I can go play. This is part of the algorithm that we're all brought up in. So by the time you're an adult, you're not realizing it, but you're just a worker bee. You're not an owner. And that is bad from a taxation standpoint. The tax code, all of these tax write-offs and things that people complain about when they come on, they're written for landowners and business owners. So if you are putting yourself in the worker bucket, you're not going to be a beneficiary of any of the tax breaks or any of the things that are happening in the country when things are booming. You're going to miss out on all the big money by being a worker. You're going to get taxed the heaviest by being a worker. Workers don't get tax write-offs. Owners do. So that puts you in a bad position. So you're double whammied. You're in debt and you're a worker. Your income is capped. Because your income is capped by the boss, the owner, you get in this mindset of chasing high income. because you want to outdo your friends. The three of you, which two of you are living paycheck to paycheck, in certain demographics, all three of you are living paycheck to paycheck. 90%, 80% are paycheck to paycheck. Two out of 10 are doing well. The rest are doing bad. 1 out of 10. So now you're chasing high income over freedom. Your focus is not on freedom right now. Your focus is, I'm in student loan debt. I'm a worker. The way out is to get high earned income. So I want to make more money, not realizing that high earned income is taxed at the highest rates. You're just going to get taxed more because you have no tax losses, but you're not chasing freedom. So as you earn more money and you push your way up the scale, now you're hitting your 30s, your 40s, you're starting to get into these higher earning years, and you're running out of time as we're going. You start to increase your spending, which is the last whammy. This is how they get you and just finish you. This is the what was that? It wasn't Street Fighter. Whatever they do to finish him. This is the finish him move, right? Mortal Kombat. Finish him. So increase your spending. So you want to increase your spending to outdo the other people around you. You want to increase your spending to outdo the other people around you because you've been broke for so long with these student loan debts. You've been working your ass off from low income 25K. Now you're making 100K. You want to feel it. I need to feel that 100K. I need to ball on them a little bit. You only live once, right? I'm in my 40s already. I already sacrificed. So now you start increasing your spending and you stay paycheck to paycheck. If you weren't paycheck to paycheck, you put yourself in a paycheck to paycheck position. I used to manage money for millionaires. Somebody tell me if I'm lying as well. Nobody said I said one lie yet. I used to manage money for millionaires for years. And I saw some broke millionaires. I saw some paycheck to paycheck millionaires. Now imagine 26-year-old me with a financial IQ thinking, but having gone through this wrong training, thinking, oh, well, if you're a millionaire, you're just good and everything's fine. I saw some people making 5 million, spending 4.9 a year. And I was like, damn, even making the money is not the way out. It's not the answer. It's not the answer. So even some of your high earning counterparts who you're looking and seeing the trappings of the success, oh, they got the car, they got the house, they're still paycheck to paycheck. They're broker than you. And they're more stressed out than you because the stakes are higher. So the whole formula here is just wrong. This whole study hard, go to school, get a good job. You don't even know what a good job is when you're 19. And many of our parents and our people around us don't tell us. They're just so damn happy we went to school. And they're thinking school is what they did when they went and they had grants and the cost of tuition was less than 10% of what it is today. They think it's that. It's not. They think the job force is what they walked into in the 80s and 90s. It ain't. You're getting crushed right now. You're getting laid off right now. You're not getting any money. You're getting less benefits. You're not getting any pension. And then you start boosting your income. I see high income earners, they're trying to take care of their parents. And they don't ever get freedom. Guys, if I'm lying, let me know. If you're getting value, like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment that says I subscribe. Share the content with someone else who you want to get value. We're going to get into the wealth formula here. This is the meat and potatoes of what you need to study. And if you study this, you will retire yourself in 2 to 5 years. It happens every time because the light bulb will go off and you will run faster towards this strategy. If you want to tap into our high level information, click the link in the description. Or if you're on IG, DM me Cashflow. YouTube, click the link in the description, tap into our community and learn. It's $27. I would make it free, but I don't like dealing with tire kickers anymore. We're way too busy. I don't want people who are just like, the 27. It's like, look, go. We only want people who are committed to changing their life in the group, because negative people or people who aren't ready or who are just looking for free stuff, they start bringing down the value of the group. So we only want certain people in the community, but definitely tap in. Trust me, you're going to get $27 like the cost of eggs these days. You're going to get a lot more value than that, a ton more value. You're going to get $1 million worth of real estate lessons for $27. That'll show you how to accelerate. So what is the wealth formula? The wealth formula is pretty simple, actually. Income. And before I get into it, I will preface, this does not matter how much you make. This formula is independent of how much money you make. I started implementing this formula when I was making about $25,000 a year and still used it to get assets. It's more powerful the broker you are. Let's take it to that level. The broker you are, the lower your expenses are. So this formula becomes more powerful. It's easier to implement because you have a lower threshold. Income minus expenses equals investable cash. Income minus expenses equals investable cash. Income minus expenses does not equal money to go out and go on a vacation. Income minus expenses does not equal, oh, I'm going to buy that car I want. Hey, Missy, DM me cash flow. DM me cash flow. And if anybody has questions, drop them in the chat, drop them in the comment section. We'll flow through them. Income minus expenses does not equal buy the kids a big Christmas. It equals investable cash. When income minus expenses starts equaling investable cash in your mind, then you will take that money and put it in a separate account where you will only use that money to invest. When you make this mental shift, you will break free from the 9 to 5 in 2 to 5 years. There's just no other way for that equation to end, because when you take investable cash, this is step 2. When you take investable cash and you multiply it by assets, assets go up with appreciation. So people are up with inflation. People are complaining about inflation, the cost of eggs, the cost of gas, everything's going up, the Trump tariffs. Well, if you owned assets, you would be like, oh, my assets are going to go up with inflation as well. I'm going to actually make more money because I'm an owner. Once again, you get rewarded for being an owner in America, not a worker. So don't design your whole life around being a worker. Work so that you can get income early on before you get a skill. You should only be working at a job to get a high income skill, to learn the game. This is what I did. I worked at a startup. I didn't go to the startup because I was like, I'm going to be Mr. Startup and I'm going to get all my shares. And I went there to see what was underneath the hood so I could learn as much as possible. As soon as I learned, which was in about a year or two, I was out. I might have made it 15 months. I was gone to implement that high income skill into something that could produce me money freelance. And I was keeping my expenses low so that I had investable cash at the end of that equation, earning to get investable cash. But even if I was working a job, as long as I'm taking that money and utilizing it for investable cash, I'm still going to break free, because investable cash times assets equals freedom timeline. So if you want to learn how long it's going to take you to get out of the 9 to 5, we only need to look at your equation. Many of you have no plan. Fail to plan. If you fail to plan, then your plan is to fail. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So if I ask you, well, what's your real estate plan? What's your strategy? How are you working towards it? How much do you need to save to hit that goal? Where are you at right now? And you have no answer. Fail to plan, plan to fail. You failed to plan. You failed to plan at that point. And now your plan is failure. But when your plan becomes, I'm going to take this investable cash and I'm working towards that bucket and I'm dropping my expenses and I'm going to put that investable cash into this real estate, this type of asset class, co-living, Section 8, room rentals, market rentals, buy and flip, wholesale operation. That's going to equal your freedom timeline. I can then look at your strategy and say, well, if you take that and put it in here, it's only going to take so many of these. And then when all of these other factors come into place, this is how long it's going to take you to get out based on your income, based on your equation. So you need to get into this mindset. They don't teach you this in school, and they never will, because they don't want you to break free. That's not part of the algorithm. Part of the algorithm is just making you a worker bee. And then somebody else is going to come in as the owner and optimize your time until you run out of it. Because we can always, as an owner, we can always get somebody else to work. You always get somebody else younger who's been programmed the wrong way. This is the masses. 65% of all Americans live paycheck to paycheck. If I go into the black community, that's going to be 90%. If I go into certain demographics, that's going to be 90%. So you can do the math and you can go out and Google the statistics. Here's an example of this equation in play. Let's say I had investable cash of $20,000, 10 to 20K. And I multiply that by turnkey rentals. I'm going to go and put this into a turnkey rental property. I got my first turnkey rental for like 9,500, and then I had the seller kick me $4,000 towards it. So I came out of pocket 5K, but I had about 20. I got to this number. This number is a critical number in real estate. If you could just get to this number and then put it into a play, you will start to break free. Even one will show you it's possible, and then you will get to where you want to go. So 20K times a turnkey rental, which you don't even need 20K for, because there's so many lenders, and you can put down 3.5%. You can get sellers that says all the strategies I could teach you. You can come to the table with maybe 5 to 6K, maybe 10K, half of it. On average, from what I've seen, because of the amount of leverage in real estate, those who know, but just trust me if you don't know, because of the amount of leverage, because I can put down 3.5%, I can put down 5K on a turnkey rental, on even a duplex, or 10K, the return on investment is 50 to 100% on average on a fully levered up turnkey rental property. I put down 10K, the property's kicking me $500 a month in cash flow. That's $6,000 a year. That's a 60% return. 6,000 on my 10,000. That's 60% annual return. That means I get all my money back in a year and a half. If you just take your money, investable, and you have a strategy like this, turnkey rentals, and you start to lever it up, you will replace your 9 to 5 like a $60,000, $70,000 a year income in about 3 years. Some of you will do it much faster, in about 3 years. And the money on this side is way better from a taxation standpoint. So if you got 60,000 coming in cash flow, in rental income, or even less, it's more than 60,000 earned income, because the taxation is different, which means you keep more of it, you can spend more of it. It has more purchasing power. Much more powerful. But this is just an example, and this is just one strategy. If you went with the buy and flip strategy, you could break out of the 9 to 5 this year, because one flip could replace your income. Guys, if you're getting value, like, comment, subscribe. Leave a comment that says I subscribe. Share the content. More importantly, share it with somebody else who you want to get value. Don't be stingy with the information. I'm giving it to you for free. You give it to somebody else for free. If you're interested in any of our programs, we have our Boots on the Ground program, where we find finance, rehab, tenant, and managed properties for you. DM me Boots on the Ground. I'll get you tapped into that. Although we had a bunch of people join this month, we don't have any more space this month. But you can get on the waiting list and tap in for April. And for those of you who are thinking like, oh, I'll just get in when I fit in, it's like, well, we don't have space for everybody in that program. If you want to tap into our next ride along tour, we just did a ride along like a week ago, and it was amazing. We're doing the next one May 31st. You can tap in, spend the day with me in Philly, touring property, seeing an operation. That's going to take you to the next level. Ask anybody who's ever been on a ride along how that experience was. It's transformative. And then if you want to tap into our community group, which I recommend anybody who's not in, who is serious about this, if you want to do that, just click the link in the description or DM me Cashflow. It's $27. We're not hiding anything. It's $27. If that's going to screen you away, then go away. It's actually there to run you away anyway. If that runs you away, I'm like, great. We didn't need them in the community. We don't want them. We don't want people of that mindset. We need the right mindset here, because a bad mindset can spoil a lot of people. You really want that good mindset. Let's get into the compound effect. This is another element of all of this, the compound effect. Well, how do you compound your earnings? How does that work? Well, one, you have 90 to 100% lenders out there in the real estate space. Real estate is a very unique asset class. There are very few asset classes where you can get 90 to 100% of the money to acquire the asset, and then that asset produces cash flow and other benefits. So you will naturally, as you scale in this game, if you just did one turnkey rental and learn the process, you would take that knowledge and you would scale with 90 to 100% lenders who will give you 90 to 100% of the money to buy and rehab properties for a living. This is how people are doing, 10 plus, 20 plus deals per year. They're not doing it because they were born rich and they have huge wallets. They're doing it because they're partnering and building relationships with different lenders that are in the space and are able to scale up. So once you get good at this, You want to scale yourself to the next level so you can get out of the 9 to 5 even faster. Number two is tax losses. Tax losses are going to get you out of the 9 to 5 faster than somebody who doesn't have them. I actually used to love it. Like when I was early in the business, I was probably bringing in, which is fantastic money, right? Like 10K a month, like fantastic money off of the real estate. But it was like almost tax free, or in many senses tax free. So I would look at some high earning counterparts and they're like, "Oh, I make a quarter mil. I do this, I do that." And I'm looking at them like, "Bro, I have more money than you though." At the end of the day, when it comes time to write a check, I have more investable cash than you do. I'm living lower than you. Um I'm just doing everything right. I'm living lower to the ground than you. I have a better tax situation than you. I'm buying more assets than you. I'm just putting myself in a better position long term because of this compound effect. If I keep doing this while you're working a 9 to 5, burning your time and getting bad money that is highly taxable, it's not hard. I don't even have to outwork you. I could work 1/10 of the amount that you work and make 20x the money. And that's the side of the equation that I want to be on, and I want you guys to be on. I want you guys thinking along these lines. But you get tax losses for every asset you own. Every house is like a kid. If you went to the tax code and it's like you get write-offs when you have a kid. When you have kids, they give you certain write-offs, right? When you if you I see people asking about the community group. Click the link in the description of this video. So if you're watching this on YouTube, go down to the description, click it. There's a link in there. You can just click on that link. Or you can click the link in my bio on IG, or just DM me Cashflow and I'll send it to you once we end this live. I'll send you a link, and definitely tap in. 27 bucks. Get in. They have some other bonuses you can grab, but become a part of the community. We have private lenders, appraisers, architects, engineers, contractors. We have all these people in the community, and it just keeps growing. It's just an amazing thing to be a part of. But you'll get tax losses like you're having kids with a property. So every house you buy, you're getting maybe $5,000 to $10,000 annual of tax losses and ghost depreciation and other different tax harvesting strategies, bonus depreciation, all these different things. Then you're getting cash flow rental income. And then you're getting the third whammy, which is appreciation. If you don't own assets, you can't appreciate. Appreciation is amazing because you can be making cash flow and getting tax losses. So you're getting that 50% pop to the upside. You're getting that 50 to 100% annual return. But even if you weren't, even if you bought a property and it wasn't cash flowing you, you're still going to get tax losses. And then that appreciation, I've had properties 3x in value. I've had properties, hey, you bought it for 75K from the bank. It's worth 210. Damn. In 8 years, it 3x'd. Oh, I've had a property, you buy it for 100K, it's worth 350K now in 9 years. That time's going to go by anyway. That 9 years, somebody went to the club for 9 years. I didn't go to the club for 9 years. I bought a rental. I bought a duplex. So while they were going to the club and showing off their dance moves, in that 9 years, my property 3x. That's 200K. Boom. Do that 10 times. That would be, 2 million or 2.8 million or 2.5 million on just 10 of them. They don't have to be worth a mint right now. This is why you can buy in the hood. You can buy in the C class, buy them for 80K, 90K. They're going to 2 or 3x in value. What do you expect them to do? What do you think they're going to do? Go down? They're already 80, 90K. They're not going to go down. They're going to go up. And when they go up, you're going to make a lot of money. A lot of people never realize this because it hasn't happened for them yet. So they don't think it's real. They don't think, oh, the property can 3x. And then you can go to the bank. And how do you get the money? Well, you go to the bank. You tell them, hey, the property's worth 300,000. I only owe, because I bought it for 100K, I only owe like 70, maybe 60K now because I've been paying the mortgage for 8 years. So I owe 70K. It's worth 300. That's $230,000. Give me 70% of that. 230. And they're like, yeah, we can do that. We can do that. And you're like, okay. And then you get a check for 150K, tax free, wired into your account. And if you have the knowledge, you take that money, you do it again. You put it into another deal. Because what else are you going to do to it? I've already properly programmed you into the wealth formula. You're just going to take that and skip this income portion, keep your expenses low, especially at first. Once you start to experience success, you'll be making so much money and on the right side of the tax code where you can comfortably increase your expenses because your assets will do it for you. Your assets will kick off so much cash flow, giving you way more time freedom because you're not working a 9 to 5 now. Now that you have your time freedom, you have your time back. A lot of you have passions. A lot of you have you're skilled in certain things that are of value to people, but you don't get to do them because you're so busy in the 9 to 5 living paycheck to paycheck. When you do something like this, you get your time freedom back and you're able to tap back into those passions. You can get paid way more for those passions than anybody would pay you for the 9 to 5, which you hate, and which it shows you hate it. When you no longer hate what you do because you have time freedom and independence, you produce the best things for everyone around you. You become the ultimate producer. So getting into this, putting that money back into these assets and getting your cash up, this is what you're going to do. You're just going to skip some of these steps and you're going to go straight to investable cash, more assets, more time freedom. So much time freedom, you can create time freedom for your family and your next generation. This is the equation for generational wealth. Many people are trying to get generational wealth over here. It ain't gonna happen. Do you see generational wealth as a bullet point here? It just leads to increased spending and more paycheck to paycheck. Paycheck to paycheck, everything is a rhythm. Paycheck to paycheck leads to more paycheck to paycheck. Wealth formula leads to more free time. That's what it leads to. That's the end of this equation, free time. So if you want to retire, you need to have an action plan to retire. Long story short, this is it. You will either tap into it or you won't. If you want to accelerate, and a lot of people are like, Brian, I love it. I love real estate, but I just don't have the time to do it myself. That's a lot of us. A lot of us don't have the time to do it ourselves. That's why I created the Boots on the Ground program, where me and my team just do it all for you. We find the deals and we do everything for you. So if you're sitting there and you're like, well, I'm already here. I already have investable cash. Like I'm already dialed in, but I don't have the time to go out and find assets. Where do I find these assets? How do I evaluate them? What are the best ones? What's the best strategies? I want the time freedom and I have the investable cash. I just don't know this middle piece and I don't have time. I want to see my kids. Yeah, I'm already working hard enough. Reach out, DM me Boots on the Ground, tap into the Boots on the Ground program. We'll be able to help you to leverage your investable cash and to get more assets quickly. Somebody said utilization examples, please. You have to ask specific questions, and I'll answer them. But I'm not sure what you mean by utilization. But that's kind of that in terms of that. If you just want to get experience, if you want to learn how to build houses and get hands-on with your real estate, a lot of us learn hands-on. I learn both ways, but hands-on I think is definitely a great way to learn. Definitely tap into our ride along May 31st, Saturday. Spend a day with me. I'll answer your question in terms of utilization. Just ask a specific question and I'll answer it. And then we have, like I said, our mentorship community group where you can learn from me, but also just network with others who are out doing this. There are people in the community who are doing 10 plus deals a year right now. A lot of people think, oh, well, Brian says he's doing it and has done it and done this and 300 deals. And there are people doing it right now outside of me, just with the knowledge. So you need to go see them do it. Sometimes that helps with your self-belief as well. Because sometimes people take somebody like me and pedestalize it. You need to see other people who are actively doing it right now. And for the first time, they just did their first 10 deals so that you can believe in yourself a little bit more. There's a mirror effect there, which is why we built out the community, because you need to see other people around you having the success. A lot of your circles suck. A lot of your circles are all wrong way people. So what are you going to learn from wrong way people who are in student loan debt, who are paycheck to paycheck, and who are trying to out earn you so they can increase their spending to look better than you and still be living paycheck to paycheck? You're just going to learn how to live paycheck to paycheck at a higher income level. Everybody who's doing that is trading their freedom for money, for nonsense too, for goods that aren't even worth anything, quite frankly. You're only going to learn this wealth formula and see it in action by being a part of a community of investors who are actually out doing it. I don't know where to go after I get the big loan off my equity. Oh, I mean, how do you? So you're saying if you get a loan out of your equity, like if you took a home equity line of credit or something like that, you have to go and put it in the assets. This is why knowledge is so important. Most people will never get to the wealth equation because they don't know what assets to invest in anyway. Their family don't know. They don't know. Oh, you're in Hawaii. You're just in an. You're in Hawaii. Somebody's asking a question on IG. If you're in Hawaii, you're in an overpriced market. You're in an extremely expensive market. I won't say that it's impossible to develop in Hawaii. People are clearly doing it, but I've heard the permits are horrendous in Hawaii. Like it takes forever to get permits, and it's just very, very expensive. One of the most expensive markets in the country. So what I've seen many people from Hawaii do is invest out of state. Invest out of state across the country into cheaper real estate because like I'm saying, if you can buy a property for 80, 90K, it has no choice but to appreciate. Why does it appreciate? Because of inherent value. Inherent value is this. If you tried to build a house from the ground up, let's talk just the frame and shell, just to brick it out, dig out the basement, dig out the foundation and brick it up and put a roof on it and wrap it in siding. That would cost you easily 150,000 all in. If you can buy a pre-existing house for 80K, even if it's in another part of the country, all of the materials and labor costs are pretty similar. In fact, the materials costs are the same because they're not local costs, they're national costs. Labor is what fluctuates. But because the cost to build a house is the cost to build a house, there's an inherent value to a property and regardless of location. The inherent value is the value to just stand it up physically. And if you can buy it for less than inherent value, it has no option but to return to its normal value of just the cost to stand it up. Most developers will tell you you get paid a premium to build a house, right? That's why people build from the ground up and they mark it up and sell it to market. They don't sell it for what it costs them to build. So there's naturally this premium built in. So if you can buy below market value in another area of the country, especially where we do it, like we mostly we're doing this in Philly. We're going to start doing it in the boots on the ground in Baltimore as well. I've been investing in Baltimore for over a decade. These are sister cities. You got New York, you got DC. People get priced out of more expensive cities. They move to the sister cities. It drives up the values. So there's a logical philosophy that you can tap into. But if you don't have investable cash, you're screwed. If you do have investable cash, but you don't have time, you have solutions. You have things like boots on the ground. I'm not the only person that will do something like that for you, but I'm probably, shockingly, maybe to a lot of people, the least expensive option. And with the least amount of like hidden fees and different things and kickbacks and all these other things, because I just don't take them. I don't negotiate them in and I don't take them. Not that I don't know how to, I just don't want to. I'd rather you guys get the value. I'm probably the only one that'll do management of the asset at 5%, which is below market. Somebody asked me for a discount on 5%. I was like, bro, it's the bottom of the barrel. There is nobody who really does 5% anyway. And there are no 4% out there. So 5% is like the bottom. But I do that for somebody even with one deal. Typically, you would have to have like 10 to 15 deals before negotiating somebody down to 5% on management, just based off your volume. I'll start you there off one deal so you can experience that. It gives you more cash flow. So across the board, I'm definitely one of the better, if not the best option for it in a major city like Philly, which is the 6th largest city in America. But I would reach out about that. But if you just want to learn this game, I would just tap into our community and start learning and getting resources. We got private money lenders, all these different relationships. I would definitely tap in there and kind of work my way up. I'm just going to go through some of these comments. Yes, work so you can get a skill and build up any capital you can, but aim to get on the favorite side of the tax code. You have to be on the right side of taxes. Taxes, taxes, taxes. There's two things promised to you in this world, death and taxes. So you better get on the right side of the taxes. Guys, if you want to tap into the community, click the link in the description or DM me Cashflow on IG. Click the link in my bio on IG as well. You can tap in. It's 27 bucks. If 27 bucks scares you off, good. I'm the scarecrow. And the $27 that's standing next to me is there to scare you off. It's there. Because if $27 scares you off in real estate, you have the wrong mindset. You don't belong here. I'm here to tell you that. You don't belong here. So great. When it doesn't scare you off, you'll be ready, a little bit more ready to escape the rat race and get some financial freedom. But if $27, it didn't scare you from dropping that cover fee to get in the club. You dropped $30 to get in the club. You spent $27 on a Long Island. I know you. No, I'm just kidding, guys. But seriously, we are spending money out there, and you need to start to spend your money on assets and not a good time or a car or some of these things that depreciate as soon as you drive them off the lot or walk them out of the store. So we have that. Yes, you got to get on the right side of the tax code. We got to subscribe. Brian, I just tapped in to the $27, waiting for approval. Yeah, I'll get you approved as soon as we get out of this. I'll get you approved and get you locked in. I always give everybody a personal meet and greet at the front door. This is not something where I don't interact with my people. I interact with all my people. That's why everybody kind of loves being a part of our community, because it's a real community. Yeah, you'll have access to me. You'll have access to other people. We're here to help. You're not just a number. Another tax, right side of the tax code, of minimizing expenses early on, then scale up investing, never fail. Yeah, you have to get on the right side of the tax code because that gives you more cash. When you're not paying as much taxes, that means you have more cash left over at the end of the day. When you have more cash left over, that's more money you can put into more assets. The asset example we gave you, which was pretty simple, this is a simple strategy where you can get 50 to 100% returns on average. And I can show you these numbers on average, at least in the cities I invest in. So this is not cap. This is not, this ain't crypto. This isn't nonsense. This is serious as a heart attack. You will either take it seriously or you'll miss out on it. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just here to lead you to the water. You don't have to drink it. It doesn't, like, it's not going to hurt me. You're either going to do it and you're going to get yourself into an early retirement, or you're going to take this 3 years, cross this out, and put 40 in front of it. And that's how long you're going to work. You're going to work 40 years. You're going to live paycheck to paycheck the entire time. And you're going to die broke, living on your friend's couch, who did what I told them to do, who did take this seriously. Those are your two options. There is no, you can't ostrich your way out of this. You can't tuck your head in the sand and hope it goes away. It ain't going to go away. You're either going to solve this problem or you're going to get old. You're going to look up, you're going to be 60, 65, and you're going to be like, damn, I'm out of time. I don't have the energy. Then you got to do the boots on the ground. You don't have the option to go out and try to do this yourself because you're not 20, 30, 40. You don't have the time or the energy. You don't even have that last bit of your 50s to, like, you know what, I got one good run left in me. So you gotta take this stuff seriously and get on the right side of the tax code. Kwame says, those are facts. My property in the hood doubled within 3 years of ownership. These are facts. These are straight facts. Not one person said I was lied about anything in this session. And we've been going for almost 40 minutes. These are straight facts. Kwame brought a property in the hood. It doubled within 3 years. Doubled. There aren't many asset classes that are going to do that. What Kwame didn't say is, it doubled, but I didn't get tax losses or any cash flow in those three. He cash flowed the whole way. He's collecting cash flow the whole way to his property doubling in value. And he's getting tax losses and write-offs the entire way. So even if it didn't double in value, it wouldn't have mattered. But he got all those other two benefits and it doubled in value. It's a trifecta. If you just did this with your spare money, you would already be out of the 9 to 5, many of you. So your decision making is holding you back, unfortunately. Your habits. You want to know a man, look at his habits. What are your habits? What are your financial habits? How's your equation set up? That's going to determine how you execute. I really can't tell you in any plainer English than that. Yes, it's easily 8 to 10% minimum. Very, very few will give you 5%. This is a property management thing. Minimum market is like 8 to 10%, usually 10%. I've seen 20% in Colorado and thereabout. As you get onto the West Coast, they're trying to really milk you. Give me 20%. 5%? That's like, the phone rings, we answer it, we do all the work. We take 5 points, $5 out of every $100. That's a great deal. You're dealing with 0% of the drama. Our team will take on 100% of the drama. We'll take $5 for every $100 collected. You get 95. Where do I sign? That's called mailbox money. Mailbox money is the best money in the real estate business. When somebody else is doing the heavy lifting and the money, you just check your account, the money's in there. That's called mailbox money. It used to be mailbox money because you used to get a check in the mail. But now you get that auto deposit. But it's still called mailbox money. You check your account, damn, there it is. Damn, Section 8 put that money in there on the first of the month. Wow. And they're paying 90% of the rent. Who would have thunk it? So, this stuff is serious, man. It'll change your life. It'll really change your life. I was just looking at a video on my Instagram. DM me cash flow. Don't drop the comment on IG that says cash flow because I'll miss it. DM me cash flow, and I will send you a link as soon as we wrap this up and get you dialed in. You can also click the link in my bio on IG and tap into the our community group. $27. You can tap in there. If you're on YouTube, just click the link in the description right below the video you're watching. Just open up the description, little content there, and then the link is at the very bottom. Pretty easy to find, and just tap in or don't. It really doesn't make. It's almost better if you don't tap in. For the people who don't tap in, I'm like, oh man, I just saved myself from another tire kicker. God bless America. God bless America that $27 is there. Just save the community. So it doesn't make me a difference. It really doesn't. But I do want you guys to win. So for those who are in, I'm going to do everything within my power to set you up to win. Then it does matter to me. For those who are out, there's nothing I can do to help you. Those who are in, I have a lot of things I can do to help you. And I have a lot of people I can introduce you to. And it doesn't hurt me to help you. It actually is part of my mission. I want you to win because that's how the 24/7 cash flow community has a bigger national impact. It can't have a bigger national impact through me buying and building more houses myself. It can only have it through you going out and rebuilding 100 properties in your community. I rebuilt 300 to 400 properties in my community. I want you guys to go out and do the same thing. Now we are having an impact where we're rebuilding thousands of properties in underserved communities and keeping that wealth in demographics which have not had access to that wealth. That's the type of impact we want at the 24/7 cash flow community. The only way to have that is to help people to win. There's no way to not help you win and achieve the mission. It would be mission incomplete. And as you can see, I'm not a mission incomplete type of guy, or we wouldn't be here talking right now. So yeah, that 5% is pretty golden. Do we have to schedule a call to learn more about boots on the ground? Yeah, you do. You do have to book a call. Just DM me, or reach out. Drop a comment that says I subscribed if you're on a YouTube, and my assistant will reach out, kind of send you a link to everything where you can book a call. Just drop a comment that says boots on the ground, and my assistant will reach out. We'll send you a link, and you can kind of book a call, or you can just DM me. Go on YouTube. Go on IG. Brian Grimes _247 CFU for the 24/7 cash flow U. And I'm very responsive there. Hey, sent you an email as well. Still waiting for the membership pending status. I'm gonna tap you in, Dave. I'm gonna tap you in while we're talking. I'm gonna one hand this thing so you can get into the community. Just give me a second and we'll keep answering any questions. Are there CPAs in the community? Yes, I put my CPA in the community. I see you, Dave. I put my CPA in the community because people kept asking me. They're like, Brian, you have any CPAs? How do I do the cost segregation studies? How do I get myself to the next level there? So I just took my CPA. That's what I'm saying. All of my resources and my entire network, I put in here. I took my favorite appraiser. He's like, Brian, you've been referring me good business. I appreciate you, buddy. I said, listen, first off, you don't have to thank me for referring you people. I refer you people because you're the guy. You're the dude. I'm giving you my people and access because you're a good guy and you give good value and you do, you try to do the right thing. You try to give a fair, honest assessment. Uh, Dave, you're tapped in. You're tapped in right now. I just got you locked in to the community group. So welcome aboard. I'll shoot you another message as well. But I took him. I put him in the group. Anybody who asked me, and even here's the thing, even before he reached out with that message, I had already put his info, his contact info, everything in our community group. Hey, you need a good appraiser? Go here. This is my guy. This is my accountant. This is my architect. These are these are my people. So people are, oh, Brian, I want to get access. I want 27. It's $27. It's not $27 because what am I going to do with it? I can buy a sandwich in New York with $27. I can buy an expensive chicken salad with $27. I can't do anything with it. It's only there as a gatekeeper to keep out the tire kickers, the people who aren't really serious and are just like, everybody should do everything for me for free because I'm a victim. And it's like, well, you can kind of go with that. This is a YouTube live, so as soon as we end this live, it will be replayed, so you can watch the replay. Guys, if you get value, like, comment, subscribe. Leave the comment that says I subscribe. Share the content with someone else who you want to get value. Pass it forward. Pay it forward. Being exposed to financial knowledge changes lives. This could change somebody's trajectory. Somebody who's young. A lot of you are watching this. You might be in your 40s, but you know some people young. You got some nephews, some nieces. You have some young people around you who are still early enough to change their trajectory. They're not trapped in their expenses yet. They're not locked in. They can get out of the 9 to 5 in 3 to 5 years from where they're at, even if they're 25, even if they're 27. They can be out by 30. Give them that gift. Pass it forward to them. Help them out. A lot of people need that. A lot of people need that, man. You don't want to hold that information back from people. So definitely get that value. If you're interested in any of our programs, boots on the ground. We'll find, finance, rehab, tenant, manage the property for you. So we do all the work. You own everything. This is not like, oh, Brian's trying to own the property and get me to give him the money. No, I don't do that. I don't believe in that. I don't do that. Period. There are people who do that, and it usually goes really bad. They're in a deal with you, and then it's on the news. I don't do all that. You own it. I want you to be an owner. I need you to be an owner to accomplish this mission. I need you to be able to stand on your own too. I need you to be confident. I need you to be able to educate the next generation and the people around you in your circle. I need you to create a community. That's how we're going to reach everybody. But in order to get there, you need to get the game. You need to get tapped in. The community is an easy way it's a no-brainer way to tap in. And then there are more ways to tap in. But the boots on the ground is good. We can do it all for you. Come out, spend a day with me in Philly. A lot of people don't believe it's real until they see it. They say seeing is believing. That means you don't believe anything until you see it, which is fine. Come out, spend a day with me, grab lunch with me. We'll see maybe 10, 15, maybe 20 properties, depending on how the day is flowing. And we'll show you how these things are put back together. This takes all the fear out of real estate. A lot of us are just afraid because we haven't seen it. This will take the fear out of it. And then you can click the links in the description or DM me to tap into, once again, the community group, the $27 community group, and get connected with all my resources. I don't hold any of them back. So yes, the CPA is in the community. Matt Henderson said we need to talk. Just reach out, drop a comment, DM me, click the link in the description, tap into the community. Let's connect there. Let's get you tapped in. Let's make it happen. We're all running out of time, guys. We're not getting any younger, guys, by the day. Let's go. Let's make it happen. When do you want the result? I wanted it yesterday. That's my favorite word in real estate is yesterday. I wanted to get to the money yesterday. You should add that word to your vocabulary. You'll get more results. How soon do you want to? Yesterday. That's how soon. It's a better mindset to be in, and it yields better results. Just don't go crazy with it. We got a what's up? We got a wave from the GWB agent. We got some subs. Thanks so much. Yes, there will be a replay of this trauma. It's on YouTube. Yeah, you can replay. Everybody watch the replay. Another question: do you utilize the Section 8 program? Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I use Section 8. Section 8 can be very fantastic. How much is the boot camp where you fly out? If you want to fly out to spend time with me, just DM me. We have the full price is 2,000, but we run a discount. Right now there's the pre-order sales. Is much cheaper. If you want to come out, let me know. My team's like, Brian, you should just bring people to the ride along for free because people love it so much. You should just have a I was talking to them today, literally, my team, and they were like, you should just have a list and just try to bring out some people for free, just help them to change their life. So definitely reach out. DM me, Miguel. Just DM me ride along, and we'll try to get you tapped into the next one. I don't know how many I'm going to be able to do this year. I did like 6 last year, but I almost burned out. But I'm setting things up differently, so maybe we can get it done. But reach out, man. No, the group is if you're thinking about flying out, it's a day. You'll spend the whole day with me in Philly. So we spent all Saturday together, like 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. We spent the whole day together. So you're gonna pick my brain all day. You get access to course content. You get a network of other investors who are there with you. There's usually like 20 of us on a ride along tour. I try to keep the group small but big enough so that we get good exposure. I would reach out about that. So if you're interested in that, just reach out. It's transformative, and you'll get your 24/7 cash flow hoodie. We get you geared up as well. So I'll make sure you're taken care of. But yes, do you utilize the Section 8 program on turnkey rentals? Absolutely. Also, is there a strict vetting process when finding good tenants? There is. I have that in the course content. I actually have that when you tap into the $27 community. I have all that information. How to get a turnkey rental in 30 days. Navigating Section 8, kind of how all that works. It's all in the course content. You can tap into all of that. And that will help you to accelerate tremendously, like tenfold. So yeah, I utilize Section 8 a lot because how much do I utilize Section 8? I just helped my mom. She has a property. I just Section 8'd her property. Her rent went from 12, I think she was getting $1,200 a month, maybe $1,150 a month. She now has $1,950 a month coming in. So she went from cash flowing $300 a month to she's cash flowing like $1,200 a month right now. And that's, to me, that's the greatest gift. So a lot of people, let's go here. A lot of people, they make money. They get the high income. Roland said, bring the notebook. They get the high income. They want to start taking care of family. I'm going to take care of my family. I'm big dog. I'm big, badass, like an NBA player or something that goes broke 5 years out of the league. I'm going to take care of everybody. I took my mom. She had an asset. I repositioned the asset. We're not just going to pull money out of the pocket. We're going to take the asset. I reposition the asset. Now she cash flowing $1,200 a month. What a great feeling to be able to do that for your parent. Now you cash flow. I give you the gift of eternal cash flow, and I'll manage the property for you for free. Because you have to. It's family. So that to me is a better gift. That to me is a much better gift than even pulling out of your pocket. Now, when you start pulling out of your pocket and you have no assets, now what happens? You lose your job. Everybody fails. If I set you up to stand up independently, even if something happened to me, my mom still got her property cash flowing. She's still going to get that money every month. I just set that up. She passes eventually. We all go. Like I said, we're all on borrowed time here. So you might as well have fun with it, do what you love, and try to build some wealth because you're going to be checked out of here anyway. That happens now that asset passes down to the grandkids. It's going to skip me. Ain't nobody giving me nothing. I can guarantee you that. It's going to skip me, go straight to the grandkids. And now it's assets, you can put in trust and have them professionally managed, property management for the next generation. More cash flow. And that rent is going to go up. A lot of value, man. But yeah, we did that with Section 8. Her rent went from very low to very high. Now she's making way more money. Great feeling. And yes, there is a strict vetting process. I can't get into all of it right now, but I have gotten into it. And I get into it. And there are live sessions. If you go through my channel, I recommend everybody subscribe, not just to get free trainings and stuff, but to just be locked in because we're putting out a lot of information. I've been putting out this information for years. If you go through my lives, you'll have whole Section 8 lives where we just crushed it, where we went a mile deep. just on a live. So definitely tap into that. Guys, if you're getting value, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribe, share the content with somebody who you want to get value. Let's answer some more questions as we go through. What about the rehab professionals? Are they in the network? Yes, there are contractors in the network. My boots on the ground contractors are not, because they're in the boots on the ground program. We have them strictly focused, and this is my A team. They're strictly focused on boots on the ground. There's also not a way to steal my A team. People have tried. Oh, I'm going to come in. I'm smart. I'm smarter than Brian. I'm going to backdoor and try to get the contractor's number and tell them who I am and, get them to work for me. One, I'm not even marking up their pricing. If anything, they're giving me better pricing for you than you're going to get on your own. Two, they're just going to call me and say, hey, Brian, you know this guy, I don't even know how this guy found me. Probably came from you. Then you get kicked out of the program for trying to backdoor, because you, with the boots on the ground, you kind of need your A team focused on the boots on the ground. So in a way, trying to poach contractors from boots on the ground, you're trying to hurt everybody else. They're not going to do it anyway. If you think I don't have stronger relationships, or my relationships are so weak that people would leave me for you, you're crazy. You're crazy. With my track record and how much money has flowed through these guys, you're insane. You can't do it. There's just loyalty. It's a different space. But you would be hurting other boots on the ground members, which I will not allow. I won't allow it. Just off of the strength of others. Like, I'm going to protect the people. So but yeah, we do have contractors who are within there. We do have people that I can recommend you to, but one guy just raised his hand. He joined not but 2-3 weeks ago, and he's a contractor in a DMV. So he's like, yo, if anybody needs me, I'm in the DMV, I'm here, and I'm a part of the community. So we have contractors joining by the day. We have many people that I talk to. These are the two main types of people that you will talk to as somebody like me. I'm going to talk to people who are white collar, who are working a 9-to-5, who might earn good money or might not, but they're of a white collar background, clerical office setting type of background. And then I talk to a lot of contractors. The white collar people, they understand the financial things faster, the money, how the money works and these different things. They're afraid of the construction. Then I talk to contractors who understand the construction. They're afraid of the financial aspects and the money. So for them, the coaching is completely different. I'm trying to coach them on the money, how it works, so that they can navigate. They already know how to build the houses, believe it or not. Because as a white collar person, your biggest fear is, how do you build the houses? There are people running around there, know how to build the houses. Their biggest fear is, how do you get the money? So no, there are contractors within the community that we can tap you into, but there's also developers who are building in the neighborhoods that you want to build in the cities and states that you want to build in, that are part of the community, that have their own contractors and relationships and resources. It's just a web of connections if you utilize the community correctly, if you show up to the group calls and meet the people, if you come out to a ride along and network, grab your cell phone numbers and get tapped in, you start to have a network. Your circle becomes more important. I wouldn't be here without a powerful circle. My circle is powerful, way better. Older guys, mentors pulling me up, showing me different things. My one mentor, he takes me out. Let's go see this fight. I see him drop 10K in a night. And I'm like, okay, this guy's 38, black guy, dropped 30K, takes me to a club. I own this club. I built this building from the ground up. I designed this commercial space. And you're like, okay, I can do this. I just need time and the right guidance, be pointed in the right direction. So having exposure, but then also having people at your level who are doing it, to where you believe, okay, I believe I can do this too. If they're doing it, they don't appear to be any smarter than me. They're certainly not more attractive than me. And you start having these thoughts in your head like, this guy's doing it. I could do it. I can get it done. I feel, I got some sauce as well. So that's part of it. So that's why you need community. A lot of our communities, our circles suck. It's a bunch of broke people living paycheck to paycheck, especially if you're in certain demographics. I already told you, nationally, all Americans, 65% paycheck to paycheck, 2/3. That means in whatever demographic you're in could be worse than that number. If you're in a minority community, it's probably 80 or 90% paycheck to paycheck. So you have 80 to 90% paycheck to paycheck mentality around you. You're surrounded by it. Your algorithm is it. Realize it or not, your algorithm is a bunch of broke MFers. That's your algo. If that's your algorithm, how in the world are you going to achieve financial freedom with that algorithm? You need to change your circle. If you could, if I could have changed my circle like that for $27, I would have paid more. Damn it. Where do I sign? Because it's like, it's hard to get a circle. It's hard to get access. People pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to college to get into a better community, to get in a better network. Wake up is all I can say for some people. That's why I have the reaction. Oh, I'll get to $27 when I get paid next week. Whatever, bro. I'm not going to chase you for $27. You don't think that hard you don't think that hard on anything else. So it just is what it is. It just is what it is. But that's kind of that. That's enough that I'll say. But there are rehab professionals there. There are people who are in the community who have access. There are people you just got to tap in. You have to get past these thresholds and just get in the game. You got to get on the dance floor. Get your back up off the wall. Like that's what it is. Frank said, I just purchased it. I'm in. Definitely tap in. We had 2 people tap in on the call. Guys, if you want to tap in, click the links in the description. DM me Cashflow. Join the community. Start networking with each other. Start getting around like-minded people. You will be surprised how fast you will accelerate when you get from around all these broke people. And broke is a mindset. Broke is not a reality. You could take me, Thanos snap me down to $0 and come back and leave me for dead and come back in 2 to 5 years and I'll be right back. Because the knowledge don't go nowhere. You could parachute me into Hawaii, blindfold me, put me on a plane, drop me out of a parachute, and I wake up in Hawaii. I'll build a network there in 30 days, a real estate network. I'll be sitting at the auction. You'll come into the real estate auction. I'll be like, yo, what up? Remember me? He'll be like, damn, this guy's on it. I'll know your market better than you do. The knowledge won't leave you. So broke is a mindset. And you're trapped by around somewhere between 65 to 90% of the people are paycheck to paycheck. So they could only teach you what they know. And that's what they know. They know intimately living paycheck to paycheck. I'm not on that, and my people ain't on that. And if you're on that, I know the $27 will keep you out. I know it'll keep you out. It's going to at least keep you out to your next paycheck. At worst, by the next paycheck, you'll come up with something else to spend the money on. You won't come back here. And I'm not going to chase you. You're not going to get another DM from me. Wilfred said, I subscribe. Definitely subscribe. Frank said, that's crazy. It's definitely crazy, man. Have to upgrade our environment. Have to get into a different community to elevate the mindset and heart set. Definitely. Definitely. You have to change your circle. You have to change your circle, man. Your circle really will hurt you out here. Your circle really will hurt you out here. And Frank said you have to have that Navy SEAL mindset. You really do. You want to bulletproof your mind. If you bulletproof your mind, you'll be able to get to the next level much faster. Part of this is having superior strategy. You guys have heard me rant about this before. I want a superior strategy. I don't want to be doing what everyone else does, because you can work very hard at something and not make the money. In fact, this is the God's honest truth. The people who make the least money work the hardest. From what I've seen in the 9 to 5, in that whole space, the people working the hardest make the least amount of money. So it is not an equation of hard work. It is an equation of superior strategy. If you have the strategy, which is the worker bee, wrong way, student loan, be a worker, not an owner, because being an owner is so risky. What if you fail? Everybody will make fun of you if you fail as an owner. Actually, owners don't make fun of owners who fail. Owners who see other owners fail say, welcome to the club. I failed. They start telling you the story about how they failed before they figured out the superior strategy. You actually get educated. They come to the rescue and start giving you more information about how to accelerate and how to take what you learned and completely override any losses with future profits. But you're afraid of that world, and they told you they're going to make fun of you if you fail. What about bankruptcy? Bankruptcy is like, it's almost like, wait, this is bankruptcy. If you looked at it, not that you want to file bankruptcy, but I'm just saying, there are worse things in the world. Worker bee. Then trading your income for freedom, because you want to get a high income so that you can go make fun of other worker bees who get paid less than you. I'm much better than you. You make 150, I make 250, but we're both paycheck to paycheck. Who cares? Who cares? That's what I'm saying in the corner. Who cares? You're both paycheck to paycheck. Neither one of you have a clue. Neither one of you have any assets. What does it matter? You're all going to the same place, which is to live on your friend's couch, who does have a clue, who did invest in assets. That's where you're both going to be living. Doesn't make sense to me. And then increasing your spending. Gotta live with the Joneses. Gotta get the big house, right? Gotta get the big house. I need the car, but my wife's gotta have the real nice car. Well, how old is she? Well, she's only 28, but she gotta have the real nice car. Why? She doesn't even do anything. What does she need that car for? To go park it in the 9 to 5 lot? To show off for the other worker bees? That's stupid. That car is now $800 a month payment. That's less money because you increased your expenses. Now you have less investable cash. You increased your expenses, got a little bit more income, but you big boy increased your expenses. You went from no car payment to $900 a month car payment. Less investable cash. And even if you had the investable cash, don't know what to do with it. When this is the only equation will get you freedom. Even the people who become the highest earners, who make millions, can still be paycheck to paycheck. Or they can make enough to retire, but very few make that. Very few get there. So few get there that I wouldn't even waste time with that strategy. And you're starting to see, this is the wrong way, because some of the companies now are saying, you know what? We don't really care about those college educations anymore. The people that are coming out, they're not that smart. They're just very entitled. So we're going to start taking people younger, more moldable, with a high school diploma, and we're going to put them in Google. Like, it's just such the wrong way. It's crazy right now. Not that you shouldn't get educated, but you have to only be working. You should only be working the 9 to 5 to learn a high income skill and then apply it towards this equation so that you can get out of the 9 to 5, so that you can get out as quickly as possible in 3 years to 5 years instead of 40 years. The only move right now. Failure is just Diamond said, failure is just a learning opportunity. It is there. You don't fail in this game. You learn. It's called fail forward mindset. You don't fail. You just learn. You learn something that you can apply in the future to get a big win. You're just learning for the future. The wealth destroyer is a car note. It is $800, $900 car note. Guess how much my first duplex, my mortgage payment was $756 a month for my first duplex. Cash flowing me $1,000 a month. Many of your car notes are bigger than that. Try to make sense out of that. Cash flowing asset, $759 a month, 3x in value in 9 years, $10,000 a year in tax write-offs, $1,000 a month cash flow. Car you drove off the lot, depreciated 30% the second you drove it off the lot. It's a clunker now. It's not worth anything. It's not worth anything. You got no knowledge from it. Damn. You got no tax breaks from it. Wow. There's just no value. It's superior strategy. So if you're working with an inferior strategy like that, and I'm working half as hard, 1/3 as hard, with a superior strategy, I still leapfrog you. I still run circles around you. And I'm not saying that to be arrogant. I want you to do it too. I want you to do it too. And I'll show you step by step how to do it. But you got to do it. You got to want it. As one of my coaches, my basketball coaches used to say, you got to want it. You got to want it. I can't want it for you. And nobody's going to want it for you because nobody cares about you. Everybody's so self-interested. They just care about themselves. You got to want it. When you decide you want it, you'll get it because you get everything else you want. It's just that some of the things you want, they have no value and they don't work for you. You're working for the things you want. When the things you want work for you, now you have a superior equation. When the things you want, you work for them. You want the bag. You want the car. You want the shoes. You want the clothes. You want the trip. You're working for it. But when the things you want are assets that work for you, I want more houses that work for me, that make me more money. I want that business. I want that independent contractor that can outproduce their cost. When your I wants become things that work for you, then you will have time freedom, right? Because everything you acquire will be working for you, outproducing itself, making more profit. So you just need to change your equation. A lot of you are really hard workers and really good people. You work really hard and you're a really good person. But you're just in a bad equation. You're on a hamster wheel. That's why it's called that hamster wheel. No matter how hard you run on that thing, you could be running, dogging it on that thing. And if I'm not on that hamster wheel, I could moonwalk past you, bro. Wave at you while I'm doing it. Because I'm not on a wheel. I'm moving forward. For real, for real. So you have to always check your equation. If you feel stuck, like I'm not getting results, I'm not moving, what is your strategy? Maybe you have an inferior strategy. And it's okay to admit that to yourself. It's actually much better to admit to yourself, I think I have an inferior strategy. I think I need to make a change here. That's maturity. That's not being stubborn. That's not fighting it. That's just saying, look, I know I work hard. I know I hustle. And some of us want it, but we don't have a circle. And that's part of the plan. That's part of your algorithm. People understand the internet algorithm, but they don't understand that that is a microcosm of the actual world we live in. The actual world we live in is an algorithm. That's why if you go to another country, the people act differently. Why do they act differently? They're still all human beings. We're all the same human being with brains and same programming. We have different algorithms that are playing in our society. This is how propaganda can work as well. Different things. People have been understanding algorithms long before the internet. Once you have radio, once you have any form of interconnectivity, you can have extreme algorithms. So you're being programmed. So the easiest way to get out of from under the program, the results of the current program, is to change your circle, put yourself in a different stratosphere, and you can be reprogrammed and amongst different people. Have different competitors. Have the people that are around you never talk about buying dumb shit. All they talk about is buying houses and buying assets and investing and building businesses, and you would just get programmed with that. Osmosis. You would just get programmed with it naturally. It'll pour right into you. Just like a cup. Like it'll just pour right into you. Enough knowledge to hit critical mass and accelerate. Critical mass is when you know like 51% of what you need to know. You don't ever need to know 100%. You never need to know 100%. All you need is critical mass, 51% of the totality of what you need to know. And you can run light years and laps around people. Sad. Also, trading it up every 3 years. That's what folks be telling you to do in that circle you in. It's flexing, but you're broke. Yeah, you're trading it up. Every 3 years, you get this raise. You start spending more money. You get the nicer house, nicer this, nicer that. You're running out of time. You're getting older. You're getting more tired. You're getting more grays. More grays coming in. I like my grays, but more grays keep coming in. You might not like your grades because you're working too hard. You don't see a way out. And you're like, damn, the time is ticking. When am I going to get there? And the only way people can justify how hard they're working with an inferior strategy is to buy things. To say, well, at least I could buy what I wanted. But what you want, what you've been programmed, I'll challenge you, what you've been programmed to want is very foolish. And you would be better served being programmed. Since you're being programmed anyway, you'd be better served to be programmed to want something that works for you. Wouldn't that be a better program to be under? To be excited when you buy an asset that is going to give you time freedom. To be equally as excited to invest in real estate and execute on a deal as you would be to go on a vacation or to buy some stupid ass car that nobody cares about. That's probably going to get a recall because it was built bad anyway. Because it's cheap and it's a piece of junk. It's not worth anything as soon as you drive it off the lot. It'd be much better to be programmed into the real estate. I would rather be programmed into something. And I'm glad that my circle programmed me into it. I've run with it a great deal, but I'm glad somebody took me by the collar and said, wake up, look over here, have some directional accuracy. God bless America that somebody did that. That many people did that. And I wasn't too stubborn to not listen. You know that story they have in the Bible that you guys just like stranded, somebody comes by with a boat, they're like, no, I'm good, and then they drown. This is kind of one of those boats. You're like, you either jump a hole or it's like you're going to drown financially. With where inflation is going right now, with where things are going, this is a serious time. They say, oh, the gap between the rich and the poor. This is a serious time, guys. This is a real serious time. You're either going to wake up or you're going to get obliterated. Obliterated. There are people running around right now. There are people running around right now who don't even know how to really use the internet at all. You know how much knowledge they're missing out on? They're getting left behind. People are accelerating. So you have somebody like programming apps or doing all this stuff and tapping in, and then somebody who's completely disconnected. Both living in the same world at the same time. Your knowledge and what you're focused on right now is so crucial right now, because if you are distracted and somebody isn't, what they can do with that lack of distraction should be scary to you. They can go so much faster than you. They can grab $1 million in a year while you're worried about getting a 5K raise with less effort than you, because they're focused in a different direction than you. Not because they're smarter, more talented, born better, or anything, but because they're focused differently than you. Energy and attention is the real money. Attention and focus and seeking proper enjoyment and things that will benefit you in the future, that's the real money. The money is just, it's kind of nothing at the end of the day. The money's going to come from whatever you guys choose to do with your time. But you have to make the choice to do the right things with your time that are going to yield better long-term results, and to keep the right perspective and mindset and just keep going. Got a bad deal, keep going. Did a great deal, keep going. Don't get high or low on either one. I'm neither high on the big deal nor low on the bad deal. It's more work to do. The reward for good work is more work. Keep doing the work. Keep trusting the work. Keep trusting the time and attention. Don't trust the money. Money loves speed. The better you get, the more efficient you get, the more money you'll make. It loves speed. You know, it loves confidence. It loves flow. Money is not to be hoarded. It's to be put back out. I got to see a lot of young black, quite frankly, young black developers pouring big money into the street. And they're like, the money should be in the street. You listen to Dame Dash, the money should be in the street. I flip my money. I put it all back in the street, is what he tells you. For him, the street is buying a studio, buying a distribution company. That's the street, the business street. That's where your money's got to go. A lot of people like to look at their money, see how big the account got. Money got to go back in the street to double and triple. It's got to be exposed because money loves flow. It's like blood. It's got to flow. It's got to keep coming and going. A lot of people love when money's coming. They hate when it's going. That's the wrong energy. The wrong energy. You have to understand that there's going to be seasons of both. There's going to be times when money's coming out, times when money's coming in. You can't love when money's coming in and hate when money's going out. That means you can't write the check to get to the chicken. That's what that means. You can't write the check to get to the chicken because you love when money's coming in, but you hate when it's going out. And guess what? The money's going out. The money's going out as a business professional 90% of the time. It's coming in 10% of the time. It just comes in so much bigger, like a boomerang, that it crushes it. And once you understand that relationship, you stop doubting the money going out. You just understand it's part of the flow. Money loves flow. Money loves speed. Money loves confidence. Money hates fear. That's why a lot of us are afraid of real estate, afraid of investing, afraid of getting burned, afraid. Money hates fear. It runs from you. Money doesn't flow with fear. If you are constantly in the fear energy, you won't invest, you won't flow because you'll be afraid to lose your money. Then you hoard your money, you don't flow. Money loves flow. You will cut off the circulation of money. You will hit the water shutoff valve of money. Sorry we're getting on these rants. We're kind of deep into a rant on this one. I just caught myself at the bottom of that rant. How many properties did you have before you were able to leave your W-2? I would say I probably had about 16. But let's put it this way. I'll give you my journey. That's a great question, William. And guys, if you get value, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribe, share the content with someone else who you want to get value, and listen to my crazy rants about financial freedom and wealth building. If you want to tap into our 24/7 cash flow community, click the link in the description. If you're on YouTube, right in the video, click the link in the description, tap in. If you're on IG, DM me cash flow. Just kind of reach out about that. And then we have our Boots on the Ground program where we will find, finance, rehab, tenant, and manage properties for you. We have our next ride-along tour, Saturday, May 31st. Spend a day with me in Philly, all day, 7:30 to 5:30. We're just going to look at properties all day. We'll break for lunch so you can catch your breath, so you guys can get caught back. And then we're going right back at it into more houses. You're going to see the whole hood, all the nice areas to flip in, all the C-class neighborhoods. You're going to see everything. You're going to learn how to navigate a city hands-on and how to build houses and make money and get out of the damn 9 to 5, not be relying on it. You can keep doing it if you love it, but you're not going to be relying on it. So you'll have a much better mindset. And if you want to tap into our 24/7 cash flow community and get connected with our network, change your circle, just click that link and just reach out about any of those things. Boots on the Ground program is limited. We usually only have 1 or 2 spots available. We had a bunch of people tap in recently, and because we had some openings as well, some people were kind of taking a break. But reach out about that. Don't sit on the sidelines and don't take it for granted like it's just going to be there, because we're boosting some things. I'm about to drop a weekly webinar coming up soon, which will be on Tuesday nights. So just throwing out that teaser. We're going to be giving away some really good info on that. There might be other giveaways as well, and things are going to get busy, guys. So reach out. But I am here to help, and those who are in kind of know that. Let's answer this question. So how many properties did I have before I was able to leave the W-2? My journey was, I came out of Columbia University. I went back to working 100% commission. My contemporaries were making $180,000 out of college. Go to do investment banking. They're in finance. We're all in finance majors, econ majors. They're going to make 180, but they're working 20 hours a day. It's like go home, take a nap, take a shower, get back into the office. They're kind of doing that type of grind for the money. To me, I valued that time in life. I thought to myself, I'm the youngest now. I had the most energy right now. If I apply this to building me, then I'm going to have financial freedom. If I apply this to someone else, they're going to have financial freedom. I'm not going to get this energy and time back. And what a time that is to be focused without kids, without big bills because you haven't accrued them yet, without just time and energy. So I applied that. I worked 100% commission for about 3 years. First year I made nothing. I made 5-6 grand. I'll show you the damn the tax filing. Right. The next year I made 25,000. But I'm saving like, I mean, I learned to pay yourself first, save 10%. Before I knew, I was saving 50 to 60% of every check, 70% of every check. I'm living low, low, low. By year 3, I'm buying my first property. Um, and then I'm changing jobs. I'm still in the 9 to 5, making a little bit more steady, but only like 65,000. Like I'm not like crushing it. 27, 26, 27, 28. I'm making 65, 70,000, but my real estate's bringing in 30,000. So I'm making 65,000, 70,000 with bonus and everything, but my real estate's kicking in 30K. So I'm really making 100 even though I'm an employee. So my mindset is different because I'm already, before you can go full time, I'm already making half of my salary, maybe more, because of the tax sensitivity of that money on the side. So I'm living the lifestyle like somebody who's 6 figures in their 20s because of the real estate, not because of the 9 to 5. The 9 to 5 would have just been just enough to just keep getting by and just keep coasting. So then I left that and went to a startup because I had the security of the passive income from the real estate. And I was already on that path mentally. I was going to the startup just to learn how to run my own real estate company, how to start it up, what pieces you need, how to communicate, cross communicate with channels, what systems were they using. Because I read a 50 Cent book and he said that that's what he did within the music industry. So I just took that superior strategy. Okay, don't work anywhere. 50 literally says it in a book. Don't work anywhere just to work anywhere. Go there to learn everything you can and implement it. So even though 50 Cent is not in my circle, I'm reading and studying these guys and listening to their superior strategies. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go work at a startup and I'm just going to learn as much as possible, which I did. And I did apply it to real estate and it did make a tremendous difference. And it gives you the confidence. And when you work at a startup, you start working so hard for somebody else that you're like, damn, I should just put this time to myself. Like I'm not going to give them all of my youth. So you're going to jump. So by the time I did the startup, I was really taking all the information from the startup and starting to scale my real estate operation. This is how I scaled my out of state because I started seeing the technology and systems they were putting into the startup and how they were cross communicating. And I was like, okay, if I do this, I can build out my boots on the ground. I can invest remotely with the technology because I saw that what I saw at a startup was that we would be functioning because I was there employee number like 26, 27. So we'd be functioning and then somebody would pop in, oh, we got this new technology, this new app, and it does this. And I would just go Google the app. I'm like, this app costs $500 a month. And I would see the company 5X in productivity. So I'm like, dang. And I knew because I'm studying, I know how much money was being made. I sold insurance to start. So I did this at an insurance startup. So as I see them selling policies, I know how much the commissions are on each policy. I'm not stupid, even though everybody assumes you're dumb. If you're an employee, you're not. You could just be a poser like I was there to learn. So I'm learning and I'm like, well, for $500, they made an extra $500K for a $500 a month software. So I start seeing this and understanding the power of technology when leveraged into real estate. And I'm like, this is silly. You could self-manage. You could build a crew. You could do this. You could do that. And I started learning how to get to that next level with the apps and with the tech and with the virtual assistants and, the different teams and how to structure them, how to communicate and have the team meetings. And, there's a lot to it in that sense, administratively to make the engine run. But you can run an engine that can, produce you lots of money. So I would say there was a journey there, right? Like there was getting the first couple properties, but even before I went out of the W-2, I still had the confidence. I still had cash flow. All of these things that you guys can build at the W-2 instead of asking me, Brian, is this real? Can this really work for me? Blah, blah. Just fucking do it. Stop worrying about if it works. It's working. Just do it. Then you will prove that it worked. And then you can get rid of that step, that level. Now you can start asking the more important questions, which are, how many of these do I have to do and how soon can I retire from this? Which is a level 2 question, which is a much more important answer in terms of strategy. But that was kind of my thing. So I transitioned out smooth, but I only worked a 9 to 5. I was retired. I mean, I started at like 24. I was retired by 30 from the 9 to 5. I was done at 30. I learned what I needed to learn from it, and I learned a lot from working the 9 to 5. I don't knock the 9 to 5. I just think too many people rely on the 9 to 5. They don't rely on any part of themselves. Even just getting, like I said, 2 properties. I only had 2 properties, 3 properties bringing me in $30K a year. When you tag that onto your 65K, now you're up around 100. You get a bonus, 5K bonus. You're at 100. But then your tax sensitivity is crazy. You're not really paying as much taxes on your 65 as your contemporaries are paying because they don't have the properties and they don't have kids, because people wait long to have kids now. So you got to have the properties in your 20s to get the tax losses as an employee. So I'm running those tax losses. I'm keeping more of the money I'm earning, and I have a better equation. I'm investing it all back into more assets while everybody else is just going out and partying and doing dumb shit. So it gives you a mindset where you just don't care anymore. You just look at what everybody's doing. You're like, damn, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Don't care how much fun you're having, or that you think I'm stupid, or that you're up. It doesn't matter. You just start executing and executing. And before you know it, people are going to see what you did in the dark. It's going to come to the light. They're going to see it. They're going to start seeing your results and be like, damn, he must have been putting in work in the lab. Look, he's up 10 cribs. That's what they're going to see. They're going to start seeing the results. I also got to see that through my friends who were doing this, who, because I wasn't doing it alone. People were doing it around me. I'm seeing it. I'm surrounding myself by it. But then to see them, even if they went and told somebody, yo, I got 20 houses, to tell somebody, like if you're 32, you tell somebody you got 20 houses and they don't even have one, they're going to be like, damn, you're in a different stratosphere than I am. And you are. But I've even seen that if somebody says I got 3 houses, somebody doesn't have one, you're on a different stratosphere than them. So getting started is kind of the best place, because you don't have to do that much to transform yourself. Just an extra 10 to 20K a year will give you the confidence that you could do more, and therefore you don't need your job. Not as much as everybody else needs it, because you'll live. And then when you factor in that you could raise money and do different things, once you expand your mindset more, how long does it take to earn $65,000 a year of working this job? How long does it take to raise it? A phone call, 10 minutes. Somebody's got an old 401k with $250,000 in it, and it's getting 3%. I found somebody with a old, I want to say it was a TSA account. It was some type of old account. They worked for who did they work for? They worked for the post office for years. They had about $250 in an account. It was getting 0.5%. They were in a guaranteed account. 0.5% annual return. You can go to somebody like that. Look, I'll give you 6%, 7%. Put this in a self-directed. Now you can raise money to invest in real estate. But you don't want to do that until you have knowledge. You don't want to take on money. You don't want to do any of these things until you have more knowledge. And then maybe you don't want to do them at all anyway. Maybe you just want to go slower and steady and just go nice and conservative, go turnkey as long as you can, and then get into the burst strategy. There's many ways to get where you want to go. The point is that as you expand your mindset, you can tap into different wavelengths, and you can go as fast as you want or as slow as you want, depending on your risk tolerance and Just, whatever else you're factoring in. But speed is a derivative of volume, not of time, in real estate at least. I could build 100 houses in a quarter, in 3 to 4 months. I could build 100 houses with a large enough team and enough lenders and enough of an operation. I could do it with proper structuring and systems. Or I could build one house a year for 100 years, right? So it's all a matter of systems and scale, which is why you just don't need to care. And you'll lose that care not too long into the journey. Once you do 1 or 2 houses, then it just becomes a math problem to you. Well, how many do I need to do? 8. How much money do I need? What do I need to do? What's the superior strategy? If you come to somebody like me with those questions, this is why it's going to take you, 3 years to 5 years on average to just completely separate, because you're going to hit speed bursts. You're going to have epiphanies. Um, you just have to be conscious enough to understand that there are things that you're going to hear and things I'm going to tell you that you're just not ready for. You're just not going to do them. But you're going to go back and watch some course content a year from now and be like, oh, he did tell me to do that. And then you're going to do it. And then you're going to get results, like faster results. And that's part of life. Like, things happen at the timing when we're ready to receive the information. You see that in a child. You tell them not to do something 1,000,000 times. One time they hear you and digest it and then start to change. But you might have told them the same thing 100 times. That's how it is. People are no different than children. In fact, your core personality is formed by like age 7 or 8. You've gotten smarter, but you haven't changed. You're still there. We're still dealing with you, the child version of you, or elements of it. Shannon said, we're getting deeper into rants as I'm trying to pull myself out of them. Shannon says, I subscribed. You're always dropping gems. Definitely stay tapped in, guys. If you're getting value, like, comment, subscribe, leave a comment that says I subscribe, share the content with someone who you want to get value, and click the links in the description to tap into our 24/7 cash flow community. It's $27. It's the cost of a carton of eggs, a quarter tank of gas, not a breakfast sandwich, maybe like a nice lunch sandwich with fries, and maybe with like a hard cider or something like that. That's $27. Plus tip is about another $6. It's $33. It's a nice experience at a nice pub, but it is not the education of real estate that can show you how to escape the 9 to 5. So people will tap in if they're ready. And when you're ready, you should tap in. There's nothing to wait for. There's nothing to wait for. I'll say that. The longer you wait, it's just the longer you wait. Not that you can't accelerate, but you will be behind the 8 ball of somebody, especially somebody younger than you, who is shockingly more financially aware than you at a younger age, taking this information and running with it. That's what's going to be really funny when I do this long enough to have a student pop on and be like, yeah, I built 500 houses. And I started with the 24/7 Cash Flow University. I'm just like, well, I told you guys, but that'll be like 5 years from now. You mentioned you have properties in Baltimore. Will you ever do a ride along in Baltimore? Maybe. There might be a day where I do a ride along in Baltimore, or where I at least set one up and am at elements of it. I don't know if I would run it like I run my Philly now, because I'd imagine by the time I'm doing Baltimore ride alongs, things are going to be busier. It may be a little different, but I could see myself establishing a Baltimore ride along for people to learn. And I could definitely do a smaller one at some point. But I'd really have to, I see that happening maybe in like a year or two. Maybe in like a couple of years, I would do one of those. Right now, I'm really focused in on Philly. But like I said, things could accelerate. We could be 6 months we're standing foot in Baltimore. So possibly there could be one, and I think it would be of extreme value, equal value to Philly, but Baltimore is a different market, so maybe there's a ton of value there because it's a slightly cheaper market than Philly, but slightly less developed. So I still think the better opportunity today is Philly. Philly will dry up long before Baltimore. So I want to be in the market that's going to dry up. That's going to appreciate faster. The rents are going to run up faster. This is like lock-in mode. This is musical chairs. The music's going to go off at some point. in Philly. Maybe that's in 5 years, maybe that's in 10 years, maybe that's in 15 years. But the music's going to go off. When the music goes off, then you can put full force focus into Baltimore. Or you can do some type of simultaneous approach, I would say. That's when you would have to go to like a Baltimore or another city. There are other cities on my list. Pittsburgh is a good city. And that would then experience a renaissance as well. That's a cousin city. But Philly's going to the moon. It's going to the moon. They're building new golf courses in Philly. They're building all types of new housing centers and like high-end housing too. They'll market it as, oh, we're building for the hood and we're, we love the community. And it's like 10% has to be affordable housing or 20%. The other 80% is going to be high-income housing. And they're building that stuff right now. Hell, I got people reaching out to me that want, me to find the land to build that stuff right now for them in Philly. So this stuff is happening. People are grabbing a piece. And, it's going to drive up values is all I can tell you. The people who are in are going to make a lot of money. The people who are out, the tire kickers, the people who are stuck in their circle, they're going to get the result of that algorithm. But Philly's going to go up, and then you would go to your cousin cities and your other sister cities across the country. That makes sense, which is why learning how to invest out of state is the key, because your market will dry up at some point. It will dry up at some point. You need to be able to uproot and go to another market. Like when they talk about the Native Americans that were like nomadic, like where did they go? Well, they were crazy. They lived where the buffaloes went to. They were crazy. And it's like, man, weren't that crazy? You follow the food. It's human nature, right? So if your city dries up on real estate and you're a developer, you go to the next city where the low-hanging fruit is, and then you nest there. And then where do you go? The next city where the low-hanging fruit is. It's not a new idea. There's nothing new under the sun. But you do have more freedom today to make this happen than you ever have before. So even when Baltimore is the more prominent market for whatever reasons, or offers the better opportunities, which it is not today, by the way. It in some ways it can offer good opportunities, but it's just not superior. But even when it becomes superior, there will be another market that is like, well, this is the next frontier. It's always going to happen. And even within a city that gets dried out, what happens is certain sections unlock. So you will have, okay, well, Philly's getting more expensive in the hot markets. But then what happens is the bottom markets, comps start creeping in. And then you'll have an area where it's like the top of the market is 150K. And you can buy a shell for 50K. So you only have 100K spread. You can't do a heavy enough rehab. Most developers aren't interested. But then comps creep in the 250 range or 225 range. And markets start unlocking. It's like, well, you can still buy them for 50, but now they're worth 225. That's a developer spread. Now the developers start flooding and the neighborhood starts turning. And then the comps 275, 285. So areas of the city unlock as the total market appreciates. So you have to keep your eye even on the bad. Oh, this part of the city, you don't flip there. You don't do this there. Not today. It will unlock. If you're not paying attention, you'll miss it. If you catch that wave, you're going to make a lot of money. You're going to make 100K a deal, 100K a deal on 10 deals. That's how the market can run. And you don't need to do that indefinitely until the end of time and then the sun sets, and you don't need to do all that. If you have a 1-year run and then you take it and you adjust to the new market conditions, you can do very well. I'm in the community getting my money together for boots on the ground. Definitely tap into that boots on the ground if you want us to find, finance, rehab, tenant, and manage. If you want us to do the heavy lifting for you, if you're too busy, tap into the boots on the ground. If you're on a budget, balling on a budget, tap into that 24/7 cash flow community group for $27. Get started, get locked in, get networked in. If you want to spend the day with me, DM me ride along. Leave a comment that says ride along. Guys, hope you got value. Share it with somebody who you want to get value. Like, comment, subscribe on the way out the door. Definitely stay locked in. A lot more coming at you. We're going to do a inner circle call, mastermind call Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for the people that are in the community. So if you're in the community, you'll be a part of that. If you're not, then you'll wait for the next free sesh, which will be coming right at you, I'm sure. Appreciate you guys. Brian Grimes, your real estate mentor. I'll see you on the next one.